Welcome everybody, welcome back to the Tomb of Illumination. This is another video on the physics of our Earth and how I'm talking about exposing the lies of the globe, the geodesic measurements they like to confuse you with, when everything is all relative to the observer and correlates with the expansion of the flat Earth from the Arctic out to the south. So everything expands, everything on Earth expands in the field because the electromagnetic field is what we all exist in. We're illuminated light, you could say, thanks to the sun. So we're of the field. And in the Bible it says man is of the earth. We're of the earth. So whenever we move south, we expand with the toroidal field. Okay? So, and as we expand south, everything is relative to the observer, so we're not to know. Clever thinking, by this, by the Creator. Now you don't have to be religious, to understand this. You just need to open up this little thing here. And, this video is going to be hard for people who want to believe they live on a globe, because you're basically consciously not able to do it. You're just not there. You're down here consciously, and once you start understanding all this stuff, you come to understand that man goes through conscious cycles of awakenings, elevations, like from the Stone Age to Aquarius, enlightenment. We're continuously going through cycles because our whole realm is created in a moment of time. Bang, we're in this moment, but the stars and everything are all the same. They all turn up at the same place at the same time. It's just where the sun is in relation to the stars. And the moon in our realm, and then you've got to understand the separation between the moon and the sun. Back at creation, they are one. That's why they're the same size. They are the one entity, male and female, back at singularity. Back at creation, the sun is male and female, but we're born into this realm where male is separated from the female, or the female is separated from the male. And this is, in religion, our lost Lilith. She is hidden under the veil. So male, who is X and Y chromosome, has his lost Lilith hidden within him, and he has to find her to go back home, to become one again. You never understand any of this if you think, or you want to believe, you live on a spinning ball globe. It means you're mentally incapable of achieving enlightenment. Finding the hidden door. The Egyptians have shown us all over Egypt there, the false door, the hidden door out of here, because it's a spiritual door. Because everything is of the mind. Everything in our realm is of the mind. It's all of a conscious matter. And it depends on where you are. How dumb are you? You way down here in the sacrum, or you up here, throat, reaching purple. Down at the dung gate, or up here, heavenly realm. There's a saying, there's nothing physical above your head as there's nothing spiritual below your feet. Why would you want to hang out down there where there's nothing spiritual? Your whole existence is of the mind, spiritual, which is heavenly. You want to reach the heavens. There's nothing physical up there. They're all projections. If you don't understand that, go and look at older nautical celestial navigation books. They're basically telling you that dome is a projector screen. Everything is cast onto that screen from a central point. And that central point is in the center Arctic, above the Arctic. Because it's the center of the toroidal field. It's all projected out. Outward cycle, and there's an inward cycle. So it has to go out to come back in. This is the returning cycle, and why we're on repeat all the time. There's only one sphere, which is the toroidal field. It's not a 360 degree ball. It could be a 360 degree disc. It's not a ball. Sphere doesn't mean it's a nice symmetrical ball. The word sphere is used in many ways in ancient writings. Only drongos want to set it in concrete as meaning a nice spherical ball, like a basketball. No, that's not reality. Okay, well, we're going to get into this video. And this video is about how we determine the circumference of the Earth by just knowing that man is within his arc of horizon, which is a 180 degree dome of perspective. 360 degrees all around him, 180 degrees over him. This is how we have to perceive the world around us. It's only 180 degrees at a time. Okay? So things come into our horizon as they move around the flat Earth disk. They come into our horizon to go over it. And that's our measure. It's time over distance. It's not an equation. So we govern distance by the speed of the clock. Like you picture the flat Earth system as a clock. Well, where's the energy coming from? It's coming out of the center. The mechanism of a clock starts at the center. The clock hand out here is secondary to what's coming out of the middle here. And this is our realm, you could imagine. It's secondary to creation, which is in the center. Creation's back here. We are just a projected second entity. It's not reality. Reality's back in here, where the center of the clock is. Okay? And the clock arm comes out, and on the end of the arm is a clock hand, which gives us an image of a sun. Doesn't matter where you are on Earth, on that one clock arm, anywhere up that clock arm, you can see your own sun image. So no matter what latitude you're on, there is the sun at that time of the clock arm as it swings around the flat Earth. Every man sees his own image within his arc of horizon, because you can imagine it's a crystalline mirrored structure or something, and everything's projected back to the observer, and he only sees one focal point within his sphere, within his arc of horizon. So every man sees their own image of projection, reflection. So you need to understand parabolic mirrors, because the shape of the toroidal field has these parabolic, concaved. It's a concave field. So wherever you are on a meridian, north centre, north to south, that is your projection. You are within that. That's your field. Outside of that field is protected by what religion has is cherubim. You are enclosed in that dome of perspective. Cherubim, okay? That's our perceived physical realm, but that all goes back to the mind, your brain. What's inside the brain? 2 cherubim, which are the gates of heaven, protecting the center. Dummies aren't allowed in. You have to find the door, the secret door, to find your way in. You must know the secret code to get into the center there to find reality. And then right in the center there is the Ark of the Covenant, you can call it. No, what do they call the tabernacle? Ark of the Tabernacle? Something. Tabernacle thing? It's all in the center of the brain. And then there's like a trinity to it. You've got your consciousness, your brain, what's happening inside your brain. You've got our perceived physical realm, and then you have the astrophysics, all celestial alignments. Okay? So if you think you live on the outside of a spinning ball or a globe there, and you want to believe all that, you will never understand anything I'm talking about. You're too brain dead. You should move along now and just forget you ever saw me, okay? Come back in a couple of 100,000 lifetimes. You might have woken up a little bit, okay? Now I'm just going to show you a couple of things on the phone here, or at least one thing. A screenshot here. So I did this days and days ago, and I've been sitting here when I get a minute or two to sit here and look at it and try and go over it to refresh my mind and find how I'm going to explain it so everyone can understand. And it's flipping hard because I've got a lot of stuff here to go back over. And then by the time I get around to think, well, I've got it in my mind now, I'll go into a video. It gets too dark and it's pathetic. This room, the lighting is hopeless. It looks like I'm in the dark all the time. So I have to do it during the day. And I can't be bothered sitting there trying to go over it again in case I get distracted. So we're going to go over it. We're going to go over it together, bit by bit, and I can always edit the stuff out later. Okay, all the garbage. And I'm not the best person to explain anything, you know. It's flipping hard for me to explain, put a freaking decent sentence together, so I'm finding this hard. So let's get a screenshot here, my latest one here. I just want to show you something. It's freaking mind-blowing, eh? A degree of latitude is approximately 111,111 meters. 111 meters and 11.1111. So we've got here, look, nautical miles is 1852 meters. You times it by 6, 11.11. This is divine number, okay? And this goes really deep. This is mind-blowing. And if you go back, which you probably can't find on the internet now because they scrub it. As soon as I start mentioning this stuff, I go back, it's gone. Like two examples is this here in relation to Edward Halley talking about, or writing about, or declaring he knows, but it's all bullshit because they'll refer everything back to the British when it's all plagiarized from ancient philosophers, okay? Where he's talking about, or we're led to believe that he knows or figured out the the curvature of the earth, okay? And that's understanding the curving magnetic field of the earth, because we're in a toroidal field, so everything curves. Nothing's linear except between the tropics, because there's no magnetic field between the tropics. It might carry over a little bit past Capricorn and Cancer, but it does not cross from one hemisphere to the other. It's one thing you're never taught at school. So there's one example. What was the other one? We're getting it. Edward Halley. Oh, and the other one. Now this is a weird thing. No. Yeah. Well, it says that they have either scrubbed what I read, or my state of mind at the moment, at that time, found it very easy to read and understand because it was relative to my moment in time. And now that I'm not in that zone, it's hard to read now. Or they have taken its simplicity and complicated it. And I'm referring to the NASA's explanation on the Earth's toroidal and poloidal magnetic field. So they understand the flat Earth. They know it's flat, but they've warped it to deceive the people, because a lot of it correlates. They're all quite similar, but one takes you to the spiritual realm of understanding your existence, why you're here, and the other one takes you away from it, to keep you away from it, keep you as at least 50% of the world are dead brain dead zombies, okay? Because the idea, they don't want you catching up to them. The people who run the world, they're up there. They're not stupid. They know. Your third eye's open, you know. So it's the poloidal and the magnetic field, toroidal and poloidal field. So the toroidal field is sort of, coming out and back in again to the centre Arctic. If you can imagine, 1 second. toroidal field. Look, out comes back up and under, or back in this way. That's the toroidal field, okay? So that's your toroidal field. But due to the tropical gap and the fact that we have a sun, and the sun moves around the flat earth east to west, the magnetic cycle is moving that way too. So everything in the centre north moves out east round to the west like this. The magnetic field flows out of the centre. Flows out of the centre. See, there's a straight, these are meridian lines, straight. So you can call these like arcs of longitude as the sun moves around. But in reality, they're curved magnetic field lines. So the whole centre north is turning, right? Well, as this turns, you've got the tropical gap that divides the two hemispheres. We're talking magnetism here. The Earth is like a magnet, and it's separated by this tropical zone, separating the hemispheres. But this outer hemisphere is a mirrored projection from in here. So as this turns, the southern hemisphere revolves all the way around the outside of it on this concave parabolic projected screen of the southern hemisphere. So everything is, the screen is just moving around like this. So a man on a meridian will see his image, his rotation here, and he's protected by the, like I call it, the cherubim, right? If he just stays focused on his meridian, if he's doing star trailing, there's your circular rotation of stars. They're not doing a full rotation because they're continuously moving around the outside. So the idea is, star trailing, you get your circle, which is a permanent circle because it's a circle in here, projected out here. As this turns, it's turning this. But if you track a star, you don't see this circle, you just see the star coming all the way around like this. So basically coming into your horizon, it looks like they're doing a circle and they're coming out, but no, they're actually curving in a Fibonacci over 24 hours to come up, do a loop, a cardioid loop, and go back out again, come around. They're always turning up in the exact same place in relation to the Earth. Okay? But time-wise, they drop back 3.54 minutes. Why is that? Because the sun is the quickest and it keeps the time. So the time is shot ahead, left the star behind. Because you get 3 minutes 56 of new stars turn up the next day, they want you to believe that the stars are quicker. It's not the same star that's raced up there behind the sun. And you don't know this anyway because you can't have day and night at the same time. You've got to use this. The sun's way over there. You're now seeing the stars. Okay? So there's two things online, but there's hundreds. They're changing it every day basically, where they've made that. So what I'm saying is the poloidal is moving it, okay, because it's electrical thanks to the sun. So the whole field is moving around like this. So there's poloidal field, and then there's up and over like this is your toroidal field. So in magnetism you have the radial and the I took my tongue then, radial and, you'll know what I mean. Go look at it. Go. Anyway, we'll move along. Right, so let me finish this here. So a degree of latitude is approximately 101.111 meters. And we've got this here, okay? Now it takes a bit to try and explain this, and when I'm focusing on this I can't go that deep, I can't bring them all together, just you'd be lost. This is because a degree of latitude represents 1/360th of a great circle distance from the equator to either pole. So we're talking about latitude, okay? Let's pretend that's the flat earth. Latitude, these are your latitudes. Okay? either pole. Since the distance from the equator to the pole is roughly 10,000 kilometers, it's 10,800, and we're going to get into that. See? Look, 180 times 60, 10,800. This is how we come to the measure of the Earth. 2 times 180, there's your arc of horizon. 2 of them, a day and a night, put them together, they tell you the Earth is 21,600 nautical miles. Well, not quite, they tell you it's a little bit further. Okay? But this, you can work this out. You don't need to think you live on a spinning ball. It's just all there. So since the distance from the equator to the pole is roughly 10,000 kilometers, 1 degree of latitude is approximately 10,000 kilometers divided by 90 degrees, or slash 90 degrees, equals 111.111 kilometers. Now keep that in mind. Now, no one's ever figured this out. I have, but I haven't spelt it out clearly to my Patreon subscribers. I've just given them drips and drabs, and I haven't done the video on it yet. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to try and figure it out. And the clues are in here. These are the clues of understanding this. Okay? Go look for it. And that's another thing. See, 666, the measure of man. You will never figure that out if you think you live on a globe. You have to understand the whole flat earth system, all the astrophysics, these calculations, what's the Milky Way and all that. Otherwise you'll never know. You can't dive deep enough to understand the meaning to life. You just stay in ignoramus. Okay? Well, I break all this stuff down on my Patreon side here. But people are too tight, just pay me a few coins. So I've only got a few people there, dedicated followers. And I've got to show a lot of respect for these guys. They are in search of the truth. See, not many people on earth are in search of the truth. They're too ignorant. So, I'm pretty straightforward. I shoot like an arrow, mate. So that's the guts of it. So, look that up. And this book here, given to me by Troy, one of my Patreons, this was meant to be, because I understand this entire book, and it was like it was written for me to go forth and explain the whole thing. I can't believe, it just blew my mind when he sent me this. He paid for all this, and it's delivery from from Canada to New Zealand. So God is connected. You've got to understand that we're all connected in this realm. It's mind-blowing. When you start waking up, get this flippin' thing awake, amazing things start to happen, okay? Amazing things start to happen. Now, I've probably burnt up a lot of time already, so obviously this video is going to go into a few parts. So, we'll see what else I've got on the screenshots here, shall we? That might be relevant to what we're discussing. Well, here we have, yes, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, because I asked the right question to get all this information straight away. Is the Great Pyramid, I said, is the Great Pyramid 0.15 of a nautical mile? Nautical mile out of sync with the cardinal directions. Okay? See this? You can say that's the distance, but the nautical miles is that little bit longer than statute miles, because everything is calculated on this curve. So obviously a straight line is going to be shorter than this longer nautical mile. Okay? That you're doing a curved path, so it's a little bit longer. If you went straight, it would be the 1. See, 1. Now, the Great Pyramid, the creators who organised this realm we're all in, when they set up the Great Pyramid of Khufu, they're showing us all this stuff. See, in relation to the curvature as opposed to being straight. So yes, the Great Pyramid of Khufu is indeed incredibly close to aligning with the cardinal directions, north to south, east to west, with a deviation of only about 0.15 of a degree, according to Egyptra Pro and Science Alert. This remarkable accuracy, achieved with ancient technology, has long fascinated archaeologists and engineers. Now, because they are nowhere near as intelligent as these people. But due to our egos, and all religion esoteric stories are talking about people's egos, it's like a barrier, it's a fence between reality and just pure ignorance, basically. We're over here in the ignorant field. We haven't crossed over. These egotistical, ignorant humans think they're clever. They have no idea. I mean, if you live in a world of dumb, you're not to know what's actually reality over here, are you? That's the way you live. That's just the way you exist. You're not to know until you cross the fence, cross the boundary. So, but a lot of us have woken up. We know the ancients, there's a creator. We know they're way more intelligent than the people who run our realm now and make out they know stuff. Like the education system, people go through the education system and think they're intelligent. Well, they're intelligent because they're fully indoctrinated and they know everything that was put in their brain, but they don't know reality. It wasn't put in their brain. It wasn't programmed into them. So you just got to understand the stupid from the enlightened. Those who are in search of the truth and want to seek out the facts, they are more capable of understanding truth. Okay? So there's one example of the ancients that they're showing you. There's the measurement, right? Where'd that go? Oh, I'm going back to that other screenshot. The 111. There's the connection here. 111 kilometers. Oh yeah. So what they're not really telling you, the people who run this world, they're not telling you that the ancients understood the kilometers. Okay, kilometers. That's why I come up with these figures here. Kilometers, or meters times 60. They knew all about the meters and kilometers, because if they didn't, such like this ancient philosophy though. Ancient philosophy is about the people who are illuminated. They are consciously aware now. They've woken up, opened their third eye. They can see reality for what it is. That this wouldn't work. You have to understand. They knew way back then. How old was this? Okay. And when you start looking into the pyramids and all that, they knew about the meters and all that. And the mile. They knew about the mile too. Let's not go too deep. What else have we got here? If 1 nautical mile equals 1/6 of a degree of latitude, then 1 degree of latitude equals 60 nautical miles. We're going to get into all that stuff in a minute. Degree of latitude. 1 degree of latitude or 1 degree of longitude at the equator only is 60 nautical miles. Now this is where they want to fool you, okay? They don't tell you that's the same. Now realise we're in a dome, 180 degree, not physically, it's perspective, okay? Out from the observer. Everything is relative to the observer, and you stand 90 degrees to the zenith of your arc. So you're seeing everything within that arc. So from there to there, you could say north to south, is equal to east to west. Your horizon does not vary at all. It's an equal distance, a radius, same radius, all the way around. So when you're referring to celestial navigation or time, the time from there to there is the same as there to there. But because they want you to believe you live on a sphere, they start referring latitudes to their ellipsoid, the curving and all that. And I've just done a video on that, so check out the earlier video regarding how they lie, and I've broken it down. People need to watch it a few times because they're saying things that I've explained quite clearly, querying things about time over distance. Distance is all measured by the sun's time in arcs of longitude, because the sun, like I said, the clock arm swings out of the north, so it swings around to the west, the clock arm, okay? Mention the flat earth, the clock arm swinging around to the west. The time it takes from A to B determines the length, governed by this arc that we're all in. So we measure everything within this arc of horizon. You don't live on a spinning ball, let alone the way they describe it. You live on the outside of a spinning ball and you have a curving night sky. But the curving ball, they always bring you back to the centre of the curving ball. So at the end of the day, you're on your flat plane inside your arc of horizon. The Egyptians have fully described. Okay? Where are we going with that? Oh, so realise distance, time over distance is all equal, whether it's latitude or longitude. And they're trying to deceive you that latitude is only based on their equator, because at the equator, inside the tropics, it's a direct, whether that's related to that or not, is a direct route. There's no curvature, there's no magnetic field curvature. So that's going to go a bit deep. I've got to think a bit more about that one before I try and explain it. But are we still calculating arc minutes within the tropical zone? But you do have to understand, from here to there, from the centre North Arctic on the flat earth system, right in the centre, out to there, is a 180 degree curve. Okay? And then that all shrinks down to the same for man. So there's the Earth system, then you have the same for the man. The man can be standing here. That's his arc of horizon. So, and we are looking out from the centre of the universe, right? And then you've got to realise that Earth comes from the black hole, the vacuum. Okay, let's go deep. So here on the from the Arctic to there, you have this zone here. The tropical gap represents the void of creation, the creator here, that void there, that inertial state. It is here. This is why there's no magnetic field crossing the tropics. We have a cycle. We have a cycle in the north and a cycle in the south. And there's your north to south, and there's your south to north. It's like a magnet. It's been broken down. It's separated. So you get your own magnetic cycles. But then on a whole, like if you put two magnets together, we get one north, one south. South is just the returning back to the north field though. So there's this inertial dielectric plane between the fields. So anyway, they're always referring to the equator, but I haven't got that on my mind, so we won't go there right now. And I think this video's gone on long enough now, because it's going to take forever to download them. So we'll move along. Here we go here. So the Earth's equatorial circumference is thus 60 times 36 and a quarter, it says, 21,600 nautical miles. 21,600 nautical miles. There, see? Well, you only have to work on this here. Arc minutes from there to there, 180 degrees. You don't have to think you live on a spinning ball. Okay? There's only one at a time. You don't have two arcs at once. You move, standing here at zenith, 90 degrees to zenith, you move, your arc's moving with you. You've only got a 180 degree arc at all times. Okay? So everything is always measured from the arc perpendicular back to the observer. Okay? So who's closer? This guy who's got a brain, or this made up Freemason story of Aristophanes with the stakes in the ground? Okay? It's always good to have a couple of ways to describe something, and then we can also do it this way using the nautical miles, arc minutes. We get the 21,600. What does science tell us? Earth is 21,639 nautical miles. Look, 21,600. Anyone can work that out. Okay? But stop and think about it. And all that nautical miles and all that, it's all in relation to the speed of the sun, the time it takes to get from A to B, okay? A to B, not A to B, C to D on the night side. No, it's just A to B. A to B, not A to B, C, D, not day and night. We're dealing with the sun across our arc of horizon during the day. Now someone said something in a comment, oh yeah, what happens in the southern summer when the day's longer? Hello? The sun hasn't slowed down. There's just more daylight hours in the day taken from the night. Check out my comments on my last video. I better stop there. We'll have to do another video. So thanks for watching. If you really want some information on why you're here, check out my Patreon. Go to Saints, at least Saints. Saints, Floodgates or Sovereign. All the information's there. Okay? And don't forget to put a thumbs likes up and subscribe, because YouTube's shutting me down. Shut me down. I'm going nowhere, and I'm the only guy out there on the internet who can explain all this, connect everything. Okay? No matter what people out there think, this is where you get it all. Thanks for watching.